All right, welcome. This is another week of Financial Literacy with TC. Like I always say, I am your host, TC. As I always say, I want to thank you guys for joining me. There's so many podcasts out in the world that you could have chose to listen to, but you chose to listen to mine. So I'm always appreciative of that. Today is an exciting episode for me because we are going to talk about taking your side hustle and turning it into a business. And I have someone who is phenomenal at doing that. She does so many things. She works for Pennsylvania Voice as her day job. She'll get into a little bit of that. Also, she has her own business called Breelicious Bites. Um, she also has she also has a notary business called Breeze. It's a Breeze Notary, and that's special to my heart because for those who are frequent followers, I mean, I'm a notary as well, so we're peers in that space, and I love it. And also, she does coaching for an organization called Veeam. For those who aren't aware, it is going to be our primary for Pennsylvania. I think is it the entire country or just primary for the local states?
For Pennsylvania, we have elections every year. Some states don't have elections every year.
Gotcha.
But I coach 10 partners statewide, not just Veeam.
Okay.
But Veeam is one of the partners.
Gotcha. Awesome. So I wanted to bring that up because it's very important that people vote. But for today's purpose, I just want to make sure when I'm giving her resume, you guys know that she's big time in that space. And then lastly, she's going to be hosting a major event that I have my tickets for. I hope you got yours. It is going to be the Wing Mac Smackdown Part 2. So if you have not got your tickets, Briana White is my guest, and she's going to let you guys know how you can be a part and how you can get your tickets. It's going to be an event you do not want to miss. So with all that being said, Briana, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here because you are somebody who's doing big things, not just in the city of Pittsburgh, but you are like extremely well known, and that fills my heart with joy because you are also how we met is through our mutual friend Crystal, and we move in some of the same circles. Yes. And then you also are the media coordinator for Audacity Tours. For those who are frequent subscribers, you might have seen Crystal Audacity. She's our CEO of Audacity Tours. You've seen our episode together. This is her media coordinator, and we always reference Bree in the episode with Audacity. So, all that being said, I want to thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. It's been a minute since I've been on a podcast. I used to have a podcast.
Yes.
And that was another another lifetime. But
right.
So it's been a minute since I've been on the podcast. I'm excited.
Yeah. Actually, let's segue into that real quick. So, what was the podcast about?
The podcast was called Luggage, Love, and Loot. It was me and Soleil. Me was one of the.
I love Soleil.
Me and her went to college together. We both went to Carlo together.
Okay.
Another young lady named.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Soleil. Another young lady named Markeisha Kennedy, and we all love to travel, and so it was called Luggage, Love, and Loot. So we talked about travel. We gave travel tips. Okay. We talked about love and relationships, and then also with the loot part, financial things. So
on YouTube.
It was on it was on Spotify and a few other things. So episodes probably are still there.
Yeah.
So each episode we talked about each of those things. See. And so we did that for some months. We had a launch party and everything. It was really, really nice. Yeah. But, just people's schedules get busy and different things like that.
Absolutely. Just add that to her resume. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's jump right into it because I'm trying to keep it very segment because for those who didn't catch the intro, when I said in the intro, our goal is to educate from a financial standpoint of how to turn a side hustle into a business. So just based on us having conversations about what Brianna's already doing, you guys will start to see, if it's fair for me to say, pretty much everything you do, you've done a successful job of monetizing. And that's kind of where a lot of people need to realize, like, because I'm in the process of doing that myself. Mm-hmm. Multiple streams of income is where it's at nowadays, and because we already know the 9 to 5 ain't cut.
Listen, I can't remember the last time I only had one job or was on one thing.
Right.
And then I keep telling myself I'm not gonna get involved in nothing else, and then next thing you know, something else comes up, and I'm like, I have to be a part of that.
Right.
I want to, I want to do it. So
gotcha.
I'm glad that I'm able to have my hands in a lot of different things, but there are things that I want to do, the things I'm passionate about.
Right.
And it don't hurt to make a little point off of it.
Gotcha. So before we get into the first thing you've done, I kind of just want to give people your backstory because you mentioned Carlo. What did you go to school for, and like what was before you started who you are today? What was kind of the trajectory you saw your life going?
Where I saw my life going and where I'm at are two different things.
Yeah, that's most people.
So I got to start before Carlo because this all plays into it. So when I was 9 years old, my mother, shout out to my mom.
Shout out to mom.
Moved me to Germany.
Okay.
And my aunt, uncle.
Moved to Germany?
I lived in Germany for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So me and my mom moved to Germany. My aunt, uncle, who were in the military at the time, were over there, and my two cousins. My two younger sisters were born in Germany. And so I was over in Germany. I moved back to Pittsburgh right before I turned 16. Okay. So while I was in Germany, while my aunt and uncle were there, I was able to go to the military school. Right. But when they got stationed back here to the States, I couldn't go to that school anymore. Right. So I was homeschooled for a short time, and then my mom actually put me into a German school where I had to learn to speak German. Oh, nice. And so in my school, there were 26 different nationalities. So I had friends from all over the world, from Poland, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, Iran, Iraq, Portugal, like anywhere, Turkey. There's a large Turkish population in Germany. So all these different nationalities I'm in this class with, and we're all trying to learn German. Luckily, the teacher knew how to speak English, so it was a little bit easier for me. But could you imagine going to a different country and the teacher don't speak your language and you're here to learn another language? But anywho, I said all that to say, when I decided to go to college, I went to Carlo University. I stayed local, and I majored in international business. And part of the reason I did that is because of my international experience living in Germany. Gotcha.
No, that's huge. I would never have guessed.
See, you thought you knew everything about me, and here I am giving you some more information.
No, that's huge.
So that was part of the reason why I chose that major. I had thought to myself that I wanted to move to DC and work for the government. This is what I had in my mind.
Right.
When I chose international business.
I got you.
And so that didn't end up happening. Right. And thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, considering,
So right out of school, actually one summer I started working for this other organization, One Small Step, started working there. And they offered me a job straight out of school. So I took the job because I'm just like, okay, I've already been working here. I kind of know it was a decent salary at the time. Right. And started working there. So that's kind of but it was a male mentorship program. Okay. And I wore many hats in that organization as well. And then I left from there, started working at Riverset Credit Union, which is now Allegiant.
Yes.
Where he is the branch manager. But I worked at the Southside branch. Okay. I left there. I did a lot of different roles there too. I worked in the accounting department. I worked on loans. I worked teller line.
So your level of experience is vast. Like, I'm blown away. I know.
Yes,
but it makes sense to who you are now because a lot of the things you've done translate perfectly to what you're currently doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, thanks.
No, that's right. So then when I left Pittsburgh Public Schools, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. When I left Riverset Credit Union, I started working for Pittsburgh Public Schools. Gotcha. And I was the budget analyst for the teen parenting program in the district. Mm-hmm. So I was there for 4 years, and then I got the job that I have now as the Western PA Civic Engagement Manager for Pennsylvania Voice. Mm-hmm. Man, it was the best decision I've ever made. To be in this role because the organization I work for is amazing. Yes. Zero complaints. And this is the first job I've ever had where I'm like, I don't have nothing bad to say about my job.
That's crazy.
And it's a blessing to be able to wake up every day and love the people that you work with, love the work that you're doing. And so what I do in that role is, as I said, I coach partners who are on the ground doing the work of voter registration. Okay. And also some of our partners, like Veeam, they focus on
shout out to Veeam.
Yes. They do GOTV work. So we are in that realm doing civic engagement work. We're nonpartisan, but my organization, Pennsylvania Voice, provides funding to these other organizations who are on the ground actually doing the work. Right. So whether they're making phone calls or sending text messages or door knocking or registering people to vote, we are providing funding and coordination for them so that everybody's not all in one place. It's a statewide organization. So, okay.
You were telling me.
Yeah, my job, the Pennsylvania Voice's office is based in Philly, and I'm the only one who works in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I deal with the partners on the western part of the state.
Gotcha.
And so, so VAME, Mothers of Incarcerated Sons, One Hood.
Yeah.
Those are some of my partners here. I work with the Bhutanese Community Association of Pittsburgh. That's another one of my partners.
Okay.
Constance San Jose, who focuses on the Latinx communities, another one of my partners that I coach. So that's what I do in my day job.
No, and that's huge because for those who don't follow us on social media, which you need to, Briana White, and then also Financial Literacy with TC or Tyler Culverson for those who know me. So follow us. But if you aren't aware, we did Wealth Wednesdays. Shout out to Mr. Rice yesterday, which was Wednesdays. Wealth Wednesdays, definitely check it out. Come support Nobleman Cigar Lounge. And we had the 3 organizations that we just mentioned, and it was really a fun atmosphere because this month for April, we definitely are doing 4 weeks straight of Wealth Wednesdays talking about politics, government.
And the primary election is April 23rd, and y'all need to get out to vote. And if you're not registered to vote, you have until April 8th to get registered. So make sure you're registered so that on April 23rd, your voice can be heard.
Yes.
By casting your ballot.
Awesome. And that's why I love what you do for your job because as someone who's in the financial space, this whole podcast was created because I'm in that space and I want to do more to educate our people on, everything finance. So the same with your day job is, helping people on the ground level get people registered to vote. So when we talk about turning our side hustles into a business, we got to start with our day jobs and both see how we both love what we do. So that was an excellent segue. So let's get into, let's start with It's a Breeze Notary because how did that kind of evolve?
I ended up going to this seminar. It was a small seminar. This is around the time that I had the podcast. Okay. And me and I believe it was Markeisha, she went with me. It was at the library in Oakland. Right. And they had a segment called don't get me the line. I'm talking about my Airbnb business that I no longer have. But that's where
we'll get into that a little bit.
It's a Breeze Mobile Notary.
Yeah.
Man, how did that even start? I couldn't even tell you. Okay. I've been a notary now for 6 years.
Okay. So I've only been 3 years.
So I'm on my second commission because when you become a notary, you get a 4-year commission.
Yes.
The whole test you have to take XYZ.
Yeah.
But I think someone had mentioned it to me. And I said, I'm going to look into this as an additional source of income. Because I also used to, when we get into everything, I used to drive Uber. You know what I mean? I'm all about making this money.
I'm telling y'all, she bad. She bad.
So I'm like, listen, but the Uber was putting so much wear and tear on my car. And at the time, I was leasing that particular car. And I'm just like, it was good money. So that was, me turning the notary. I'm like, I want to be able to do something that I can do on my own time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Have the flexibility of not having a second job that I have to be at a certain amount of time. So I'm like, so I started, doing the mobile notary and word of mouth, and now I work with different law firms and get a lot of different referrals. And it's been, that was also a great decision. Become a mobile notary.
Absolutely.
Because the money is there. I charge a certain amount. I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
She taught me that.
I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
Right.
If it's someone who I know or I might have done a couple different things for them, I might, if it's a 1-page document, I might charge you $40.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
Absolutely.
Because especially when the pandemic hit and we were doing it, and listen, I'm going into these places and I have to put the mask on, or when you're going into these hospitals, at some point I had to put a whole hazmat suit on.
Right.
Look, you got to pay for that.
Absolutely.
And gas, and listen, and I got a BMW and I got to put the premium gas in there. Listen.
And I don't even drive that, but I wish.
No, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So you have to, and you're providing a service to people, and you're, people
convenience.
Convenience. Mm-hmm. You have to pay for the convenience, you have to pay for your gas, you have to pay for your time. Absolutely. And so, when I first started, of course, my prices were lower because I wasn't sure yet how it was going to go.
Correct.
I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Correct.
And I'm like, I'm doing this, and then sometimes, people are calling me from Beaver County, and it's like, you know what I mean? So I finally found, I feel like, a good price range for me to be in. there are some people who be like, oh, you're too expensive, and that's fine. You're not my customer,
right?
And I'm fine with that.
And I learned that from you, Bernard Alexander. Shout out to him. He educated me on that as well. And what I love about everything you said was you basically understood like, hey, this is a service that I provide. You may not be my customer, but I try to educate people. Yeah, go to one of them law firms or somebody. They're $200-300 for a one-page document. So I might be expensive than what you're willing to pay, but I'm trying to tell you, yeah, there's some more expensive.
Or if you want to go to, somewhere where you're going to drive there and they charge you just for the stamp, hey, have at it. But for my time, and I really try to make sure that I provide a level of excellence with everything that I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm answering my phone. I'm sending you confirmation text messages before I come. I'm on time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Providing professional level services. So
which you don't always get from Yeah.
So that's all within that.
So we gonna count, y'all. That's one. It's a Breeze Notary. And just let people know how they can get your service.
Yeah, so they can you can find It's a Breeze Mobile Notary on Facebook. Or you can, message me directly, or I don't know.
And honestly, so we're keeping track of how many hustles Bree got. So that we're on one right now. We're not including her day job, but that's one. So and what I love about you, and then we'll wrap up the notary aspect. You are so gracious if it's something you can't do, because I was very appreciative of this fact from you. You hit me up, was like, hey, can you do it? Unfortunately, you got other people, so I was, whoever you can get, you could get. But just the fact that you would do that speaks volume to your character, because a lot of people wouldn't. And so I'm appreciative. So TC Notary LLC, you can find me on tcnotaryllc.net or Facebook, TC Notary LLC. So so we're mobile notaries, and we do monthly brunches. Shout out to Jamila Woody. She runs our local area. She does a great job putting them together to get local notaries together to just collab. That's kind of where I learned a lot of my notary stuff from you, Miss Joy Hill. So many. I'm trying to get more male Black notaries to start showing up. I'm like, where y'all at? So
I definitely learned a lot. Even with me being in the notary business for 6 years so far, I learned a lot of things at that notary branch. So
absolutely,
shout out to. And that's what you got to do. You got to keep
networking,
learning new things, because you don't know everything. Like
absolutely.
Even, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So there's been plenty of times I'm on the phone. I got to call Pam and say, listen, this person wants me to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
Can I do that? Or you know what I mean? So there's still things that I'm even learning.
And then laws change and
everything.
Yeah. So
we are not lawyers, and we cannot give you any legal advice.
Yes. So all right. So we're keeping count. That's one. All right. So the notary business. Okay. So now let's move on to, you had mentioned Airbnb. So let's segue into that.
Okay. Yep. I did Airbnb for close to 4 years at my primary residence.
Okay.
I got my basement redone and finished when I moved into my house. I bought my house now. I think it's been about 7 years ago. And I
home ownership. Congratulations.
Home ownership. Yes. Absolutely. And you know what? I said, how can I make some money off of this house? Right. Since I bought this house, I feel like this house has made me money.
Right.
So that's when I actually went to the seminar. There was a seminar talking about like how to. It was like a kind of like a side hustle seminar.
Yeah.
And one of the people on the panel was talking about Airbnb.
Right.
And I was just like, that's a good idea. So of course I was a little bit nervous. At the time, I'm single. I'm living by myself.
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna have these different people coming in, but man, it was great. So I had it set up to where we are not in any shared spaces. So the guests are coming in through the garage. I give them the garage door opener. And then there's a bathroom downstairs in the basement. I have the mini fridge, the microwave, coffee maker, snacks.
You got hooked up.
Everything is down. If you stay for a certain amount of time, you're going to use a washer and dryer. And I have a hot tub in my backyard.
Man, where was you at?
Listen, the hot tub is still there. So y'all got to come over. That's a whole different.
I got you.
So I will offer the hot tub as a part of the Airbnb package. Nice. But it was amazing to me that so many people did not even use it. There were a few that did, but that was a way for me to be able to up the price on my space.
Actually, because more amenities.
More amenities, right? Yep. And so I did that for 4 years. And one of the best things that came out of it is I had a regular guest come to my house for 2.5 years straight.
Wow.
He lived in West
Virginia. Talk about passive income.
Man, he was paying my mortgage plus some.
Yes.
He came for 2.5 years. He lived in West Virginia but worked here in Pittsburgh. So he would come up, he would check in on Mondays after he worked on Mondays, and he would leave Friday mornings.
Wow.
And so he did that. So even through the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, I kind of like shut down the weekends, but he was still coming.
Got you. Because you had built that type of rapport.
Right.
He's consistent. Yeah.
He was, but yeah, before that, I would still have different people coming on the weekends and stuff like that. But when the pandemic hit, I only allowed him to come. And then when he stopped, because his job was still in Pittsburgh, but it was closer to the airport, so he wanted to be a little bit closer out there when they moved his office.
Right.
And so when that happened, I shut down my Airbnb, and I got my bathrooms redone during that time. Right. And now I'm considering opening back up my Airbnb. And I would like to get another property. I know a lot of people have other properties that they do Airbnb in, but and I really didn't have many issues with the people like being downstairs again. And I think if I had to share space, like if we had to share a bathroom, we were on the same floor, I probably wouldn't have did it. Right. But the fact that they're in their own space, they don't have to bother me. I don't have to bother them. If they need something, you know, I can. But it was a great money maker.
Yes, and that's two if you've lost track. And what I love about that is when we're talking about, that's what people are looking for nowadays, is a way to have a nice passive income vending machine. I've been getting people asking me about laundromats and just ways that they can have a nice passive income that is not, too much work that they got to do.
No, like,
and that's a perfect one.
By letting these people sleep right downstairs in my basement.
Right. So that's, that would be my next move when we get our second house, or we buy our next house, to do something similar, because that is a great income, and then it gives you the flexibility to and everything else you want to do. Exactly. So yes. So
like I said, that one guest was paying my mortgage plus thing. So.
Man, I wish I'm mad I bought my house how I did. All right, so for those who have lost track, we're on 2, and that's an exciting passive income. So let's jump to the next one, which is let's go to Breelicious Bites. Or do you want to hold off on that
one? We can go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Breelicious Bites is, that's that's like my first baby. I've been having Breelicious Bites for 9 years now. Okay. So next year will be my 10-year
know that long. Okay.
My 10-year anniversary.
Congrats. And find Breelicious Bites on Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. Yes. And I do have a Breelicious Bites website. It needs to be updated, but I do have the website.
So how did that come to fruition?
So at the time, I'm out and about a lot, going to different places, trying different foods, you know what I mean? And I would always post them on Facebook. And one day I was just like, people would be like, oh, where'd you get that from? How was that? You know what I mean? Asking me different things. Right. I said, man, I really want to have something of my own to house my pictures and my experiences in, right? And at the time, it's like, mind you, this was 9 years ago, I didn't have a computer or anything. So I went to the library and I Googled how to start a blog.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
resourcefulness.
Amen. So I Googled how to start a blog, and I would go to the library for some hours, and I built my website. Right? I did it on my own. And I was like, okay. And so I had all these little different sections on there, because I like signing up for birthday club.
Awards. Get them awards. Yeah.
Listen, July 1st, my inbox starts popping with all my little free offers.
See, that's smart. This woman can teach you some things, man. So you ain't doing that, boy.
Right. So that was one of the tabs I had on there, like different birthday things that people can sign up for at restaurants. Nice. I had upcoming events that were happening. Some of my favorite restaurants were like different cocktails. So I had all these like little different sections on the website.
Right.
I built this website. I'm like, okay, I have this website now. How am I going to get the word out about it? Like, how am I going to get people to know? So I reached out to none other than Bernard Alexander,
shout out
the Connecting King in
yes.
Pittsburgh and beyond.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I said, listen, I started this blog, but I don't know how to get the word out about it. Like, you know what I mean? You can post it on Facebook, etc. But you know what I mean? I want to get it out to the masses.
Right.
And he ended up connecting me with Donna Baxter, who runs the Soul Pit.
Yes.
And so
love Miss Donna.
Yes. Yeah. So shout out to Donna Baxter, because she gave me my first writing gig. Okay. So I sent her, Bernard connected us. I I sent her the website, and I'm like, waiting to see what she's gonna say. So this is like 2 weeks after I started the blog, and she looks over the site, and she was like, oh, she was like, I really like the site. At the time, I think when you clicked on it, music was playing. She didn't like. She was like, if I was you, I would take the music off. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, but I love what you're doing. She's like, are you writing for any other publications? I'm like, no, I started this blog like 2 weeks ago. She was like, well, we don't have anybody currently doing restaurant reviews for the Soul Pit. We would love to bring you on. And I was just like, oh my God.
Man,
like,
that's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even talk about it now, I still, you know what I mean? Like, we need people like that to give people opportunities that are just starting.
Absolutely.
So I'm always grateful to Donna Baxter and the Soul Pit for them giving me the opportunity to do that. So
that's crazy.
Soul Pit, is a quarterly magazine. So I started my blog.
Yes. Sign up for the email blast.
And
buy the quarterly magazine. They are phenomenal.
Well, and they're free.
They're free.
So I started the blog January 9 years ago, whatever year that was. Yeah. So my first article, she ended up actually having me do a special like Fat Tuesday thing where I highlighted a couple different Fat Tuesday events going on in the city. But my very first article came out in April of that year for the quarterly magazine, and I had a whole like launch party and everything with all the magazines because I love doing parties. Right. I love doing events. So you know what I mean? That's how that kicked off. And so me taking that step to create my own website, to create Brelicious Bites, and Donna giving me a chance writing for the Soul Pit really just, man, it just took off after that. Right. Next thing I know, I'm getting invited to all kind of, restaurant openings, special menu tastings.
Because now you have influence.
Yes, anything that you can think of, restaurant-wise, I was invited to. So I know so many restaurant owners in the city, so many caterers, so many marketing agencies that I would partner with because they want me to promote. Right. Because there's not a lot of Black food bloggers in this city.
Other than you, I can't think of it.
I mean, there's not. And so I was getting invited to everything. And it was just like, man, it was a dream come true. I loved it. I loved that I was able to go to these places and eat for free and drink and share my experiences and things like that. Right. So some months later, maybe like a year or two after I started Soul Pit, I was also the treasurer for Pittsburgh Black Media Federation. Oh, wow. Which is the Pittsburgh chapter's National Association of Black Journalists. But PBMF was formed even before National Association of Black Journalists. Okay. That's why this Pittsburgh chapter is not called NABJ Pittsburgh. Gotcha. It's Pittsburgh Black Media Federation. So I was their treasurer for 8 years for 2 cycles. Yeah. And so also being in that realm, I learned a lot being under those, because I used to always say, I'm a fake journalist. And they were like, no, you're not. But being, you know what I mean? They're working at news stations and for different publications. So I learned so much from them. Right. Shout out to Brian Cook and Tori Parrish, because they took me under their wing and taught me a lot about what it takes to be a real journalist. You know what I mean? Right. And other people at PBMF. So that was also a blessing to be around those things. So PBMF was having an event, and the editor from the Courier was there. So I said, I need to meet him. So I went over to him. I said, listen, y'all don't have nobody currently doing restaurant reviews in the Courier. Y'all need me. Yeah. So he's like, oh, we need you. I said, absolutely. Yeah. And I started writing the restaurant reviews for the Courier. So at one point I was simultaneously doing the restaurant reviews for the Soul Pit and doing the restaurant reviews for the Pittsburgh Courier. That's crazy.
And just to recap, if this went over your head, she literally went into a library, learned how to do a food blog. 2 weeks later, based on a relationship she had built with someone who knows a ton of people, she manifests a position just based off relationship for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Black publications in the city of Pittsburgh. Yeah. She translated, and based on building relationships, became the treasurer and turned that into she's the it person. And that's so amazing, because when I think about a lot of people who I connect with and see, I'm like, why are you making excuses about why you can't do this, why you can't do that? And then you just give that excellent example of, you wanted to do something.
Listen, I didn't know what I was on. On Google. Right.
and for you to parlay all that into multiple opportunities, and now I love that you told that story because as I picture how your life is now, it makes sense why every room you walk in, damn near the whole room know you, or like I've never seen you in a room where you don't like if you don't follow her, she pretty much everybody in the room will have a picture with you. and it just but it brings it all together on how that came to be because you really and that's just phenomenal. Like within a 9-10 year period, you've built yourself a nice following and just based off a simple Google search on how to do a blog. And
right.
So
it's afforded me so many opportunities. Like I've also done some freelance work for Table Magazine. I did a Kwanzaa article with them, partnered with Chef Jackie Page on that. I actually wrote an article for Eater, which was my first like internationally published article.
Wow.
I highlighted 36 or 38, I can't remember, restaurants in the Pittsburgh area on eater.com. And I did my best to highlight as many Black and brown businesses as I could on that list. There were some people who was mad about that, but I didn't care. I said because if they wanted you to do it, I would have did it. They asked me to do it, and absolutely, this is how I'm gonna do it.
Honestly, I'm learning. As I move into my space, I'm learning to hate it. Like it just comes. You gonna have a lot of love, but you gonna have hate too, and then that just means your successes.
It just comes along with it. Right. And then with one of the other things that came out of me having my food blog is that I got a chance to be on season 1 of Play to Pittsburgh. So you can watch that on Very Local. You download Very Local on your TV. And go to Play to Pittsburgh. And I was the standing judge on season 1 of Play to Pittsburgh. And that was like a dream come true to be able to be on TV. Right. To eat most of the time good food and get paid for it. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man.
So I'm going to chalk that up to about 4 or 5 different So she done made about. Yes. We was on 2, and then she done said about 4 or 5 different. So we gonna just would it be accurate to say 5 or 6 income she done had in a 9-year period. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So
and I count on the whole. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't. But like I said, I mentioned the Uber. I did. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've always just been. Yeah. I love to.
I mean, people know about Uber. If you don't know about Uber,
but that's a good way to make money. Right. I don't know about now, but when I was doing it. I was making good money.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm like, just taking that one leap of faith and starting that website, and I had no idea what I was doing. Man, I can't even think of all the different opportunities that have came through that, and the people that I've met, and the places I've been able to go. Like I started going to these international food blogger conferences. You know what I mean? So I was able to go to Alaska.
That's great. You know what I mean? And now you're traveling.
Yes, I do. Yes, do lots of traveling. But that was also such a great experience. I was like, when am I ever going to really go to Alaska? Right. And when I seen that this food blogger conference was there, I was like, I want to be there. Right. And I was able to reach out to different people who I previously worked with and get sponsorships to help me pay for this trip to go to Alaska.
See, and man, because if you take nothing else from what she's been saying, relationships have really, and I can attest to this as well. And some of the things I've done, they've really, people always get impressed by, oh, you're always out and doing this, and I'm like, it's relationships that have catapulted me, and then you've emphasized it to heights that you may not even intention. That probably wasn't even your intention. Right. Everything that happened, and
I couldn't really imagine it.
Right. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. Yeah. So my big picture takeaway so far is understanding that once you have your job, you can create your own type of passive income. You can create your own business from things that you're passionate about. Briana loves food. She loves traveling. She literally created a pathway for her to be able to leverage and experience the things that she's passionate about. And, I mean, it's probably not as easy and seamless as she made it seem, but I mean, it was very impressive how you strategically were able to accomplish those things. So, Thank you. Shout out to you. Congrats to you for that.
So, I guess we'll wrap up this segment. You want to talk about the Wing and Max SmackDown now, or you want to?
One more thing before. Okay. So it kind of all that kind of makes sense on how you became the media coordinator for Audacity, because I kind of want to go there real quick because for those who don't know, Audacity Tours has their has the tickets going on. I'm the community partner for those who remember, and we have don't let Crystal kill me. June 22nd. Thank you. June 22nd, we have that event coming up at Privé Studio. Yes. Shout out to Rafiq. I was just with him the other day. It's going to be a great event. So definitely jump on audacitytours.com to be able to get your tickets. Follow on Facebook. Shout out to Crystal Wamalawa. Yes. That's a little inside joke for those who are frequent subscribers. So definitely shout out to her. Make sure you guys follow on all platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram.
We're going on tour.
Yes. So yeah, that's how we work together. And just it makes sense why you're the perfect person for her to give that role to.
When I see that's another thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get involved in anything else. Right? And I seen Crystal post about Audacity Tours, and I said, that seems like something I want to be a part of. And I literally reached out to her and I said, listen, what can I help you with? What can I do to help you do this? And when she told me she quit her job, I said, man, I love that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we end up, meeting for breakfast, and I know Crystal through her husband, who
shout out to Moses,
who used to work for an organization that I coached during my day job.
Got it.
So you know what I mean? This all just comes full circle.
Yes, I think I was there that day at intermission at the August Wilson when y'all may have had this conversation.
Ben had met her, but we had
that conversation.
That was the first time I met you.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh right. When we were walking into August Wilson, I was introducing her to a lot of different people.
Right.
As we walked in, and yes, we ended up having breakfast. And I said, "Listen, how can I help you?" And give me my skill set. She was like, basically, she created this position for me. And
a perfect position. Yeah, perfect position for you.
My job as the media coordinator is to make sure that Pittsburgh and the different cities we're going to, Richmond, Baltimore.
Richmond, April 12th. Sorry.
Yes. Richmond, Baltimore, Charlotte, and possibly one other stop that I ain't gonna say right now.
Yeah, but, she got some hot shots. Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? It's to making sure those media outlets in Pittsburgh and those other cities know that we're coming, making sure that they're giving us coverage.
Right.
Because we are here to highlight Black creatives in all these different cities. It's gonna, I cannot wait until
Yes, I'm excited. Yeah. So if you are not aware, please go back and watch previous Financial Literacy with TC with Audacity Tours. Or just follow us on all social media platforms. So we are very excited about that. And before we wrap up with Audacity Tours and that part, as we're talking about, starting a business based off side hustles, like you said, Crystal left her job. And the fact that, she's not even from Pittsburgh, she's from Baltimore. I always tell her this. It is so, positive, and it speaks volumes about her character because she doesn't make excuses. She's just out here every day getting it.
Every day.
And there's so many people who've been here and they have access to these resources. She discovers the resources. She didn't grow up from here. Right. And there's some people who lived their entire lives. The resources exist, the relationships exist, and they've never done anything with them. So I always give her pay kudos to her because, I'm like, you started with a disadvantage, just new city, gotta learn the ropes, and she's done it beautifully and seamlessly. So I always want to pay my respects to her for that. So yeah, let's get into the show.
The Wing and Max Smackdown.
Yeah.
Right. Listen. So back in 2016, 2017, me and a friend of mine at the time, who was a caterer, we started. We were like, we wanted to put on some events for the city.
Right.
And so the very first one we did was a mac and cheese cook-off, and we held that at Repair the World in East Liberty. And the place
is it still there?
I don't even think that's still there.
Yeah. If you don't know East Liberty ain't what it used to look like.
Right. So I don't even know if that building's still there, but we had it there, and the place was packed. So we knew that when we did our next one, we were going to have to move into a bigger venue.
Right.
So we did it was just mac and cheese, and it went so well.
Right.
And we decided we're going to do this again. And then after that, we did a a sweet potato pie cook off. But we did it around like Black History Month, so we did a whole like Black History Month event,
right,
with the sweet potato pie cook off, and then we did a holiday vendor showcase at some point, and then we did the wings and mac. So that was back in, like I said, 2017, I think was when we had it the last time. So since then, she's moved out of the city, and I really wanted to bring that back because there's so many new restaurants, so many new caterers, so many new home cooks that have surfaced since that time. And I follow all of them on my Facebook and be ordering food from them, and that kind of thing. And I said, this is a great time to bring it back. Bring something different to the city, man. And when I tell you, we got some of the best of the best.
I know a few of them.
Participating in the Wing and Mac Smackdown. We got 10 different wing entries. 10 different mac and cheese entries. Now, some of the contestants are doing both wings and mac. Some are just doing mac. Some are just doing wings. But we have 10 entries. I think we have 15 contestants.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm rooting for Keisha. Peaceful Plates. Shout out to Keisha.
I order from her all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the judges, but the thing is, like, when you come, your ticket includes, you're able to sample all the dishes.
Ticket.
Yeah, you gotta get your ticket.
I keep flashing them for a reason.
And I'm gonna tell you how to get it first. If you go on Facebook, the Wing and Mac Smackdown Part 2 is on there. We have our tickets on Event Noir. We want to use a Black-owned ticketing company.
Oh, okay.
So the tickets electronically you can get on Event Noir, or we have physical tickets that I can get to you. Yes. But so your ticket includes samples of all the different mac and cheese and wings, and then you'll be able to vote for your favorite. So we're gonna have a People's Choice winner, and also then the Judges' Choice. So we have a
that's nice.
Panel of esteemed judges.
Hey, come hungry.
Come hungry, leave happy.
Yes.
We're gonna have wine there. I just came from a tasting where I'm putting together a signature cocktail for the event.
She putting the work in, y'all.
Yes, So we're having different vendors there, dessert vendors, seasonings, people selling purses, all kind of different stuff. We're gonna have a special performance by.
I mean, you can. Listen, I mean, we can keep people guessing.
We're gonna have a special musical performance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things. Because some tickets can be considered to be pricey depending on your budget. Yeah. But
man, for everything you about to get, it's worth it.
Yeah. It's absolutely worth it. And so I'm ready just to have a good time. And enjoy all the delicious food. Shout out to all the participants. I gotta look up their names, but
I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So many.
And shout out to Mr. Rice who's hosting it.
Mr. Rice is hosting the Wing and Mac Smackdown. Mr. Rice is also hosting Audacity Tours Pittsburgh.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Mr. Rice also hosts Wealth Wednesday. And we'll get into Mr. Rice
in a minute.
Okay. But yes. So come out to the Wing and Mac Smackdown Saturday, April 27th.
Yes.
Doors open at 5. The event starts at 6. It's going to be held at St. Benedict Lamore Center at 2900 Bedford Avenue.
Yep. That's the Hill District for those who aren't from there.
Hill District.
Yeah.
Come hungry. Come support these local Black entrepreneurs. Like I said, we have home cooks, restaurant owners, caterers. People got food trucks. It's a variety. And it's going to be a good time. It's some stiff competition.
Yeah.
It's some stiff competition. I can't wait to see who wins.
We heard some stories at I think it was Motivational Mondays. We had somebody complaining about how they lost last time. So the competition's real. I'll just say that.
The competition's real.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't let you guys know that same day the August Wilson Block Party's taking on. And we all know how popular that event is, and people really show up and show out. So as soon as you're done enjoying all the vendors there, all the art and all the festivities, come right down the street and get your grub on. So
honestly, Wilson Block Party I think ends at 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
And we're starting at 6. So and we're both events are happening on the Hill District. Yeah. So
you ain't even gotta go far. Just keep your car parked where you at
and walk and come on down.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. So when we talk about this event, because I'll be honest, I will be looking to be a part in a different capacity next year. Because I'm a wink. I got something exciting coming up for this year. As I am.
I already know about it.
Yeah. We'll just stay tuned.
Listen, because I'm planning on doing something, and it's in the works. I don't know yet exactly all I was going to tell, but for my 10-year Leadership Fight anniversary next year, I really want to do something, and whether it be the Winning Max SmackDown on a larger scale, right. I don't exactly know what it's going to be yet, but definitely planning on having a big 10-year celebration for Leadership Fight.
So honestly, we've lost track of how many. We're just gonna say she done his finger looking good. So, so when we talk about starting a side hustle, you embody that so perfectly because I can't even imagine how you are able to navigate everything you do. But what I think it centers and boils down to is passion, things you enjoy, and you've career pathed everything you do, and it all started with enjoyment of food, and now you're reinventing yourself, and as you just said, the next year you're looking to do something else,
right?
And that is kind of where I would want people. If you take nothing else away from this episode, definitely take away the ability to turn a passion that you have that's completely separate from your day job, because 9 times out of 10, unless you have a job that you truly love, you you really want to start pouring your heart and soul and trying to find new and creative avenues and building relationships, building resources to actually blow that thing bigger than what you ever thought you could. Mm-hmm. But you have to take that first step. You have to stop making excuses. You have to be disciplined, because when you're done with your 9 to 5, that's when you still got to put in that work. And if you do it consistently, you do it correctly, you can turn it into something big and major. So,
absolutely.
So let's talk about Mr. Rice.
Mr. Rice, yeah. So I am currently, managing him, which is another.
Lord, we done lost. I ain't got enough fingers. She is managing now. Oh boy, yeah. Yes. And for those who don't know, he doing this thing. He's taking. Obviously, we know we're in the age of social media, but he's doing a phenomenal job of using his talents. If you have not, please check out. Just watch our lives on social media, and you'll see. He's really. And before I let you speak, I'm really proud of how he's pouring into his craft. And granted, I don't know anything about. I'm learning things from him every week, and I see how he's evolved from day one to now, 19 weeks of consistently, and he's getting better and better and better. So shout out to him for really pouring into. And again, I don't know what all you guys talk about on how you get him better, but kudos to you for because he better.
He's better.
Yeah.
Right. Come on over to the winning team.
Right.
Listen. Okay. Listen. So I've never managed anybody before.
I can't tell.
Listen, when I tell you that the things that he and I have planned that will be forthcoming, man, I can't wait. And it's almost more exciting to me than things I've done even in the food realm, which was like, it's my passion. Good food is my passion, and when your food's nasty, I'm gonna let you know.
Absolutely.
Whew, that's a whole nother. But
I got you.
No, but so what I found with managing, it's like when I seen what he was doing at Wealth Wednesdays and just the relationship that he and I have, I said, wow, I feel like I can help him take this career to the next level. And those are the words that I said to him.
Absolutely.
So we decided, he's like, we'll do a trial run and see how it goes. You know what I mean? We're still here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're still here. But I really found what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And there's other people that I want to manage and bring on, but I'm in the process of building the foundation, putting the systems in place to be able to do that, so that when it's time, I'll be able to bring on these other people. And I've already talked to some of these people about the fact that I want to manage them, and they're all for it because they know how I do things. Again, I think at the beginning of me talking, I said, I like to bring a level of excellence to everything that I do. And
it shows. I mean,
thank you.
Anybody who just observes you and follows, you don't you have a track record where And not to get on a tangent, but I have a referral for you too. If you don't already know this damn person, but we'll talk about that later. But
okay, don't forget.
But yeah, I got you. But good.
Yeah, so it's really been it's been a learning process as we're doing, but the more and more that I'm doing it, the better I'm getting at it,
right.
And I know that I'll be able to build this company and build this brand, and be able to bring on different artists. So what I'm doing with Mr. Rice is, he currently hosts Wealth Wednesdays at Nobleman, and really just making sure that he's able to hone his craft as an MC, as a host.
Yes.
I when I went to Philly for work, because I have to go to Philly 3 or 4 times a year for my day job.
Right.
But while I'm there, I said, listen, I'm also building my brand while I'm there. I met with another host up in Philly when I went. That my supervisor actually at my job connected me with. You know what I mean? And this gentleman's been hosting for 9 years. And he's like 1 year younger than Brandon. So I was able to connect him. And he's been able to drop some jewels on us. Shout out to Shazam.
Shazam.
The fave host.
See, I don't even know him like that, but I promise you I'm looking him up.
So he does a lot of weddings. He does cultural weddings. But so we've had some meetings with him, and we've been learning some things from him. Because I said, I don't really know how to be a host, so I need to find someone else to help my clients to hone his craft. So we've been able to take some jewels from him. But Brandon is naturally talented. He's naturally a star.
Personality charisma.
Yes. Charisma-wise, he's well-spoken. He's very knowledgeable.
Yes.
And with him even being as young as he is, like with his background in real estate and healthcare and things like that, he has a lot to offer. So I said, you know what, his skills and my skills, like I feel like where his areas of growth are, or where I'm strong, and vice versa. Absolutely. And so we can work well as a team in that way. So in addition to me managing his hosting and entertainment career, we're also in the process of building an entertainment empire.
I got chills, y'all.
Listen.
Hey, I see it too. I see
it's coming.
Because I'm a big picture, and not just for my own life, but when I see somebody like you already have the skill set to get it done. So I'm not, but I can see, and the fact that I'll just use a small example of how I see you guys growing and expanding. Something as simple as, hey, let's do the Google Form docs at Wealth Wednesday to get that feedback. And now every Wealth Wednesday, I see the growth. I see the difference. So honestly, I don't know how y'all came up with it, but whoever, that's just one of the
many
things. Yeah.
We have our signature Wealth Wednesday bags now. Shout out to Crystal.
Yes.
From Audacity Tours, who put our
marketing genius.
Put Wealth Wednesdays on our bags. We have these little money bags, and so each time a guest speaker comes, we're giving them a small token of their time to let them know we appreciate their time.
Absolutely. And they loving them too.
They're loving them. So that's one of the things that that the forum things that have got implemented since I've been working with them. And so, believe me, it's just the beginning.
Man, let's quit beating around the bush. If you need a manager. She ain't got the systems and everything worked out, but
I'm working it out.
You already learned about her track record. Let's quit playing.
Yes.
If you somebody who's smart, you let her take over, you about to blow up. Let's be honest.
Right.
So,
and the person who's performing at the Wing and Mac SmackDown will probably be my second artist who I will be managing.
You gotta come up. You gotta come to find out.
Yeah, you gotta come to Wing and Mac SmackDown. But yes, we are in the process of building an entertainment empire, and I am so excited about it.
I got chills.
Listen, when I talk about I get chills, when I talk to certain people about it, like Brie, I can tell in your voice how passionate and excited you are about it.
Yeah.
I call all my family members that live in different cities. Shout out to my sister Rhonda that's in Chicago. Right. Shout out to my cousin Sharice that's in Columbus. Shout out to my cousin Keisha that's in Georgia. And I call them all and I said, listen, it's gonna be all hands on deck. We're gonna need your help.
See, so just hearing how you move and how strategic you are about everything you do gives me, because now I if I'm smart, I emulate. You know how to reproduce. You know what it takes to be able to grow. Because let's just keep it real. When we're talking about building wealth, generational wealth, it starts by being able to understand how to make money, and that's clearly something you know how to do.
Right.
and you do it very well, and it doesn't seem. And again, I would never just say it's easy, but just how calculated you are, and that's something I feel like as a community, when I see my brothers and sisters who have businesses, bro, you've been a vendor for 10 years. What's the next steps?
What's the next steps? Yeah.
You had this brick and mortar for 10 years, 20 years.
Which is a blessing within itself, because some businesses don't last that long.
Right, but if you have the means, or if that's not your ultimate goal that you set out, why aren't we talking franchising? Mm-hmm. Why aren't we talking global thinking? So an individual like Briana is able to elevate our community by just saying, hey, why are you thinking so small? Why are you limiting yourself? Why are you putting a ceiling? Your job already do that. They already put a ceiling on what you can earn.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, why do you do that to yourself? Now, granted, if your situation dictates, you can't grow, you can't expand,
then find another way to do it.
Correct. So,
right,
Lord, you got I'm excited. I'm excited because one, I know you personally, and two, I envision everything. Like, to me, you're like, for our area, you're like someone who anything you touch turns to gold. And why wouldn't you want to, anybody smart, why wouldn't you want to gravitate to somebody like that? So I'm going to give you last word. Is there anything else you want to leave our audience with just, anything that that you left off, anything, words of advice, tips, anything?
Yeah, I will say that, you know what I mean? I as you stated in the beginning, at this point, depending on where you work, having just one job or one source of income just doesn't cut it anymore.
Not at all.
Especially if you, and I like nice things. I like to travel. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I need more money. And how can I do that? And so, again, taking something I was passionate about, as you said, like eating good food, I took that and built it into a business and built it to where I was able to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say empire.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, because I actually pay a lot more attention to what places you. And truth be told, I knew what you did. I just didn't know the longevity, and I didn't know. Oh, damn, she courier soul pit. Like, I didn't get into how you turned that and how you did it. So now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hang on to. Hey, you say this place is trash. You say this food nasty. You got my. I'm listening.
Yeah. There's some people who don't like me because I've said, I mean, but the place is closed down. But that's a whole different.
It is. Hey, honestly, that just goes to show if you can't handle criticism, you're probably in the wrong business. Because as someone who looks to be in that space, if somebody hey, bro, this ain't what it is. Hey, I appreciate you letting me know. Can you give me some suggestions that'll make it better or how I can fix it? Give me an opportunity to improve upon it.
Right.
Instead of, you don't know what you like. Why?
Right. One of the other businesses I was about to start was like a restaurant consulting business.
Okay. I mean,
that might still come.
That might, but yeah, I'm like, bro,
you know I mean?
The food is not for your enjoyment.
Right.
Like, you need people to consume it so you can make money. If you might as well just have your own little side.
And there's a lot more to opening up a restaurant or your own business besides knowing how to cook. Some people are very talented chefs, cooks, whatever you want to call it, but they do not know how to conduct business.
Yes.
And that's a very important. And sometimes maybe you might go to school for that,
right?
Or you might have get into something like Catapult, for example.
Shout out to Catapult.
Because I went through Catapult's culinary program.
I'm currently in it.
Yes, I went through the culinary program, learned a lot. They can hook you up with different business mentors. Listen, real quick, let me circle back. I used to make these salmon lasagna rolls, and if you ever had them, then you know Crystal and Moses have had them. Tyler, I'm going to have to make you and Gloria some.
Yes.
The salmon lasagna rolls were a phenomenon, okay? And I was working with Catapult at some point, thinking about trying to get these into the stores.
Right.
But that's the kind of stuff that Catapult can help you do. They can help you get your food into the stores. They can help you get a storefront.
Yes.
And Catapult is also a platinum sponsor of the Wing and Mac.
Oh, we almost forgot. We apologize.
Shout out to Catapult,
Tammy Thompson,
to Lachelle, to the whole team, Alexis,
Kay. Shout out to Kay, man.
Yes, to everyone at Catapult, man. I love what they're doing around the city for Black entrepreneurs.
Oh my God,
I can't say enough positive things about Catapult.
Anytime I'm not their top one of their top 5 in Facebook. I'm like, hold on, I shared them enough. Right. Yeah, so definitely.
And so doing things like that, you know what I mean? Like I was a blogger or whatever you want to call it, food journalist, for however many years, and I said, you know what? There's still things to learn. And that's why I wanted to be a part of Catapult's culinary program.
See, I love that about you, man. Mm-hmm. Ooh, you don't get complacent. Ooh, you don't get too big for your britches.
No, you don't know everything. I've been looking at management classes because I'm like, listen, there's this one program. It's like the second year you spent out in LA, and I'm like, man, that would be an amazing opportunity. But I started looking because I'm like, I need to hone my own craft too, so I'm able to be a better manager to these clients that I want to take on. So it's a lot.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and your personal development and acknowledging and having that wherewithal, because a lot of people don't. Mm-hmm. They get conceited. They get like, and you have a level of success that most would dream of. And for you to not be that way, you know, I could, you know, because I know a lot of people too, and everybody don't move the same or ain't thinking the same. Right.
So invest in yourself. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of free programs that are out there to help you.
Yes.
Catapult is free.
Yes.
So invest in yourself, believe in yourself. If you're passionate about something, whether, you know, some people, they, you know, can do that crochet and knit. My cousins do that. I'm like, listen, y'all need to be putting your stuff on Etsy. Y'all
right. Monetize everything you do.
Right. Well, some people do like doing stuff just for enjoyment, for pleasure. I don't understand that, but that's some people, you know what I mean? They're like, you know, I just enjoy doing it. But what I do, the cooking thing for me, I enjoy cooking for love more than I enjoy cooking for money.
Got you. Yeah.
So I can understand that, because I feel like when someone's paying for my food,
right,
it has to be perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
And those salmon lasagna rolls.
Yeah. I can't wait to get one.
Yeah. So I used to sell food. I was selling the salmon lasagna rolls. It was to the point where I was making like hundreds of rolls and delivering them. Mm. And I had a couple friends, Mr. Rice was one of them, who helped me deliver those rolls to people all over the city. Right. Man, if you know about the salmon lasagna rolls, then you know, and I might have to bring them back.
I'm gonna need them. Like, I can't. This can't be something we talk about, and then it's a month later. I'm putting a deadline. Can we make this happen in 2 weeks? Minimum.
Oh, after the William X Factor.
Okay, that's real. I just need something on. On the books. That's cool. Cause that's only what, 3 weeks. Sure. Yeah, it's only the first week. Yeah, 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, that's coming.
Yep. All right, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Cause honestly, you know, I create this for y'all, but this one was for me. Like, I got so much enjoyment and love for just having this conversation. So hopefully you were able to take something away from it as well. Hit the subscribe button, leave comments, reach out to us on all of our platforms. The goal is to be able to see more people moving and shaking and improving their life. Whatever that looks like for you, you know, that's up to you. But you really, hopefully we were able to give you some insight and some nuggets on things you can do, things you can pursue, a way you can go get it. And like our mayor says, Mayor Gainey, let's get it, or let's go get it. And so definitely, I appreciate you guys joining us. This is Financial Literacy with TC. As always, I'm your host, TC, and I want to thank my guest, Briana White. And we will see you guys at any of these events that we be at. So
yeah, we'll be at the events.
Yes. So we're gonna leave y'all with this, or this, and we'll see you guys next time.